Oh my God, what has happened to Bitcoin? You can see that it's formed this double top, which is a bearish pattern, and the price has plunged. It's about $31,000 at time of recording. Where's it gonna go? And is Ronald McDonald ever gonna be happy?
Apollo had produced the ultimate hardware wallet for your cryptocurrency assets, probably the most secure hardware wallet going. Use my affiliate link and the code for a discount.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And in this video, I'm going to be looking at the long-term prospects for Bitcoin, including some price analysis over the next few weeks or so. And I've got some good news for you if you are a crypto hodler like myself. Now, please come and subscribe and follow me on Odyssey or my new YouTube channel, Crypto Rich BTC. I am being brutally shadow banned on my main channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, Crypto Rich YT, and join my official Telegram announcements channel. Now, before I talk you through this price analysis and some sticks and boxes that I've drawn and some EMA signals, let me take you over here to this article from the In Bitcoin We Trust newsletter. And I'll have a link to this in the description below. And it says that Bitcoin has suffered the 8th 50% plus crash in its history. Now, what happened each time after that? Now, if you've been around Bitcoin for a while, you will know that actually what happened is it always goes up. But there's something particular that I'm going to talk to you about, and we'll go through some of the big crashes that have happened in the past. So the author, Sylvain Sorel, starts off saying the price of Bitcoin is around 35K at the time of writing. This means that the price of Bitcoin is down about 50% from its all-time high of 69K, which it reached on November the 10th, 2021. When a correction in the price of Bitcoin reaches 50%, we can start talking about a crash. Now, if you're a newcomer to the world of Bitcoin and you hear the word crash, it makes sense that you would start to panic. Now, these investors are not used to the way a free market works anymore. The manipulated stock market has accustomed them to having circuit breakers as soon as the volatility becomes too great in the eyes of the regulators. Now, with Bitcoin, don't have circuit breakers. Volatility is part of the game. Bitcoin market participants are free to find the equilibrium price all the time, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And the freedom Bitcoin gives you is expressed at every level. So you have the freedom to make money with Bitcoin, and you also have the freedom to lose money with Bitcoin 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I saw a meme which said that thank heavens for Bitcoin, because prior to Bitcoin, I would have to wait until Monday before I would lose any money when the market opens. But now I can lose money every day of the week. Now look at the Fear and Greed Index, shows that right now we are in extreme fear with a score of 11, and the lower the score, the more fearful. Now emotions guide our behavior. When we're happy, we do happy things. When we're sad, we do sad things. And it's the same deal with the markets. People feel optimistic when the price is going up, so they go and buy some more. And then when people feel desperate and suicidal and despondent and oh my God, when the price is low, they're afraid they're going to lose everything. That's the point of maximum financial opportunity, provided you've done all your other homework and you've really looked at this investment and considered all the risks involved, and you haven't put in more than you can afford to lose. Now, the Fear and Greed Index is calculated as a function of the volatility in the market, the volume of trades going, what's happening on social media, what people are saying, surveys of participants in the crypto space, the size of the total market relative to the BTC dominance or the altcoin dominance, and finally searches. So when there's a bull market, there's going to have more searches for how can I buy Bitcoin. When the market is crashing, there'll be more searches for topics like crypto crash. So putting all of those factors together brings us the Fear and Greed Index. Now, I started by saying that this is the 8th 50% plus crash that Bitcoin has endured during its history. Let's look at those crashes and then let's look at what's happened afterwards. Now, in the summer of 2011, price of one Bitcoin equaled the price of 1 ounce of silver, and then it began to drop. One of the things that happened at the same time was a hack of the largest exchange, Mt. And Bitcoin went from $29.60, and Bitcoin went from $29.60 to about $2.27 in November 2011. Don't you wish you'd picked up Bitcoin then? That would have been a really, really good time to buy. Because come August 2012, Bitcoin had reached the dizzy height of $15.40, but then it crashed to $7.70. Okay, maybe you didn't pick up any when it was $2.27, but this would have been a good time to get some at $7.70. Don't you wish you'd done that? Because by April 2013, your $7.70 would have reached the dizzy heights of $266. Now, this coincided with the crash of Mt. Gox. It couldn't deal with the traffic and its platform crashed, which allowed hackers to take advantage of the vulnerabilities. Remember, this is one of the first exchanges. Platform was shut down, which caused the price of Bitcoin to plummet due to the loss of confidence and the increase in fear. 850,000 Bitcoin had been stolen in that hack. However, Bitcoin just goes on. The fundamentals are excellent for Bitcoin. It's a deflationary asset. Governments are printing and printing, and it's only accelerated over the last couple of years. So what happened was that by the end of 2013, your Bitcoin that you wish you'd bought at $45 each was worth $1,151 at the peak. But then it crashed all the way down to $522 in December of 2013, which was a 54% fall. And it went back up a little bit, but it reached a low of $365, which was a 70% drop from the all-time high. And that was in March 2015. So this drop took quite a long while to play out. Now, don't you wish you'd bought Bitcoin when it was $365 a Bitcoin? Did you buy any then? Let me know in the comments below. What's the lowest price you've paid for a Bitcoin? Had you bought a Bitcoin for $365 then? That would have been $19,497 in December 2017. But then that crashed to a low of $3,236 a year later in 2018. We had this year-long bear market. Now, at any point here, these would have been good times to pick up a little bit of Bitcoin. Did you pick up any Bitcoin when it was $3,236? Or did you wait till it was more expensive later on? Now, come March 2020, Bitcoin was touching $10,000. However, on the 6th of March in 2020, it crashed from $9,122 to $3,600, which was still a higher low than its previous low of $3,236. And this crash was precipitated by the COVID-19 pandemic, and there was a liquidity crisis in all the markets. Stocks, gold, silver, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, they all took a plunge. And then what did Bitcoin do next? And in April 2021, Coinbase listed as a public company, and in that euphoria, Bitcoin reached an all-time high of $64,000. And then it corrected slightly, $58,800, but then when China banned Bitcoin mining, price of Bitcoin fell by 50% to a low of $30K. Now, many pundits thought that the price of Bitcoin would enter a bear market and that Bitcoin network would take years to recover. But all that happened is that the capital assets moved to where they're treated best. And America became the dominant area for Bitcoin mining. And so the Bitcoin price recovered so that in November 2021, it had reached an all-time high of $69,000. Now, how low is Bitcoin going to go in this particular dip? And then what will it do after? One of the things I've noticed is this. See, this low of $29,800 was higher than this low of $3,600, which was higher than the previous low of $3,236, which was higher than the previous low of $365, which was higher than the bottom of the previous low at $45, which was higher than the previous low of $7.70, which was higher than the previous low of $2.27. Indicates that over the long term, we are in a bull market. Now, why would we be in a bull market? We just look at the macroeconomic conditions. Bitcoin is a deflationary currency. You cannot print it away. And I personally think that the fiat currencies are going to go. They've always gone, and their death is imminent because governments are just printing them to oblivion so that the value of them becomes more and more worthless and they lose spending power. Now, the other thing to notice is when it bounced back, where did it go next? So Bitcoin went from $2.27 to the next all-time high of $15.40. And then from a low of $7.70 to the next all-time high of $266. And then from a low of $45, which was still higher than the previous low, to an eye-watering high of $1,151. And the low after that, $365. And do you remember where it, and the low after that, $365. And do you remember when I said earlier where it went to next? The dizzy height of $19,497 before plunging $3,236. And from there, it rose to over $10,000, corrected to $9,122. And then the pandemic started and down to $3,600, which was still higher than the previous low. So we've still got higher highs and lower lows. And the next high was just under $64,000. And then it corrected to $29,800 before shooting up again in a mere 4 months to $69,000. And here we are at $34,500 at the time of this article, but at the time of recording this video, we are at $33,420. Now, what we want is we don't want Bitcoin to break below the previous low, which was back in July 2021 of 29,800. We certainly don't want it to close before that. It might just dip a little bit and then bounce back up. We don't want it to close below that because that would mean it's still respecting the long-term upward trend, higher lows and higher highs. Now, this is Bitcoin USD on the daily time frame, and you can see here that it's broken the 200, the 150, the 100 and the 50-day moving averages, and this is a zone of resistance, a zone of support, because there's been a lot of activity, and it is between $29,800 to about $32,500. I mean, this is not completely exact, and you don't want to trade off the advice that I, as a qualified social worker, give you. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Now, this is the weekly chart, which is much better for looking at how it might play out over the next few weeks or so, and you can see here these boxes where it's actually dipped below the 200 weekly 200 weekly average, and also here, but it didn't stay long. So this is a critical area of support, but it's over here, this pink line, that's 200. We're still way above that. This is the 150, and even here it went below the 150 and the 150, but we were in a bear market. I don't think we're in a bear market yet, as long as Bitcoin doesn't close below 29,800. That would just not be good at all. Now, I showed you that McDonald's M, which is a double top, which is a bearish pattern, but look at this. If Bitcoin bounces off this zone here and goes upwards, we then have a W, which is a bullish pattern. And how might that play out? Well, typically what happens with W's is you take the depth of the W, the bottom of it to the top of it, and then it breaks out the same distance. So this arrow is the same as this, is the same length of this arrow, which would take us to about over $100,000, which is not beyond the bounds of belief, especially when you look at how Bitcoin has gone from its all-time lows to its all-time highs. Many multiples of previous lows. And given what's happening in the world, it could easily exceed that. Now, could Bitcoin dip below? I think so. Is it likely to crash and go to zero? I think not. Is now a good time to pick up some crypto? Well, that's for you to work out, having done your own due diligence. I want you to know that I'm still accumulating, but then I've been pretty much constantly accumulating all the while. Look, let me know what you think. How low do you think Bitcoin is going to go this time round? And where do you think it's going to bounce back to, if you think it's going to bounce back at all? Thank you so much for watching and for listening. Please do subscribe. Please do come and follow me on my new channels on Odyssey and Crypto Rich BTC. Do leave a comment. Give me a ticker symbol for your favorite cryptocurrency. Those kind of comments help my channel grow because it helps my channel show up on the algo. So I really appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter, join my official Telegram announcements channel, and between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich signing out. All the best. Bye-bye. To preserve your health and your liberty, consider becoming a subscriber for Western Price London. They do some really great information about staying healthy, eating healthily, and preserving your freedom, your bodily autonomy, given what we're all dealing with currently. Now, it just costs £2 a month to become a video subscriber. You get 1 week's free. Subscribers gain access to our large and growing video library of previous events with free speech talks from experts who cover a wide range of topics relating to wise traditions in food, farming, and healing.